What's up guys, Cliff with the Sunday Drive and TSD Motorsports. Today we're working on Mr. Squeeze's G87 M2 and we're installing the boot mode flex fuel sensor so we can make some power. So welcome back to the channel guys. We are pumped to build this car from stock to about 750 at the wheels, and we're just getting started with this build. We're gonna be doing a lot of mods, preparing him for his first track day at NJMP. If you guys wanna see the vlog of that, be sure to check the link above on Mr. Squeeze's page, and there will also be a live stream on Neon's page. So be sure to check those out if you want a little bit more behind the scenes of what's going on here. But we'll be doing all the DIY installs on our page and channel. So here we have the full Protuning free boot mode S58 flex fuel sensor kit so that you can run ethanol content and have the car adjust on the fly. So we have the plug and play wiring harness, the control box, our 360 fittings, and of course the flex fuel sensor that does all the magic. We're gonna show you step by step how to get this installed. And if you're interested in having this upgrade done on your S58 or B58 powered vehicle, be sure to shoot us a DM. We'll always have links for the parts down in the description. Really helps us out when you go through those. Without any further ado, let's mod this G87. Now you'll notice in the engine bay something is missing. We have the DME out. It's in Finland right now getting the femto unlock. If you guys need to have a femto unlock done, we offer that service in-house with indoor vehicle storage, which most shops don't offer. It's still currently the only place to get post-June 2020 production date vehicles unlocked. And once that's back, we'll be able to flash it so that it can actually be compatible with the boot mode flex fuel sensor. And it is important to note the flex fuel sensor only does work with a tuned vehicle. Otherwise, it's going to have it in there but not be able to use it. So make sure you tune your vehicle. So that is missing right now. But we're going to start off by popping our engine cover. It's held by a few grommets in each of the corners. So just gently pick that up to make sure you don't break any of them. All right, we can set that to the side. And we're gonna be replacing this boring stock intake in a following video with some inventory update intakes and the front inlet. So if you're interested in seeing how to do that, check the link above, or if it's not out yet, check it down in the description. Now we need to disconnect the fuel line at the back of your engine. You're gonna wanna make sure your system's depressurized, so the car's been sitting for a while. Ours obviously has because the DME has been out, but we're gonna go ahead and stick some microfiber towels back here just to catch any fuel that still does come out of that line. So the fuel line is coming up here from the hard line below the car and converts to this soft line, which runs over here and connects into another hard line, which goes into your high pressure fuel system, which powers your pumps and eventually your injectors. There's this little gray clip on here. Very easy to drop this down. Ask us how we know. But you're gonna wanna go ahead and push up on that. You're not really gonna be able to see me be doing this, but I'll show you it once it's removed. So there's that little clip that we went ahead and removed. Make sure that you don't lose that. You will need to reinstall it. This end of the line has the exact same clip. So this is what it looks like installed. And you just pull it off with your hand just like I did back there. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the fuel line disconnected. You're gonna wanna push in on this black part right here and push the silver line towards that. All right, so what we did is we pushed in on this black part, basically squeezing it in like this, and then pulled the whole line off. Now we're gonna pre-assemble our kit. So we're gonna take our two quick connects right here. So push back, make sure it locks in. And same thing on this one. You're just gonna wanna pull back on the larger side. So there's a smaller 5/16 side. We're not using that. We're gonna go to the bigger side right here and just push that on. Make sure it doesn't pull off. And then we're also gonna go ahead and plug in the wire so that we don't have to reach in the back. Once this is in there, it's a little bit harder to get to. All right, make sure there's a nice audible click. Now we're gonna get this installed and route it into the cabin. Yeah. To have the best fitment possible, you're gonna wanna have your two lines oriented in this direction. This is gonna go into the metal hard line, and this is gonna go into that soft, flexible line that we disconnected the plastic gray clip from. And it's gonna go in this orientation like so. All right, so the same thing, you're not really gonna be able to see this well, but you're gonna pull back on the fitting and then slide it over the hard line. All right, and then same thing as we did before, give it a nice firm tug. Make sure that that is in good. Now take your soft line, you're just gonna push it straight on, you'll hear a nice audible click, and then we need to reinstall that lock. Right, there's a nice click, and let's get our gray lock pin in place. Pull out your microfibers. We're done with the fuel system. Now we need to get the wire into the cabin. We're going to remove this cover plate right here. We already removed the one on the driver's side. The passenger side also has the line for your windows washers. Just pop it out of the groove right here. And then there's a 90-degree twist lock right here, which you're going to twist to the unlock position, and this will just lift up and out, giving us plenty access to the grommets that we need to go through. So we're routing the wire back over this way, and we're gonna zip tie it to the fuel line. We're gonna come up over here. We're gonna zip tie this up cleaner when we're done, but we're gonna go through this area right where this factory wire goes through. All right, and this gives you just a nice clean install. We're gonna now take it back underneath the cowl and feed it over to the passenger side. And I know you may be asking, why don't we just go straight across that way? This keeps it cleaner, otherwise you have a wire that's visible right there. Doing it this way, you follow all the existing wiring, and it's not visible once completed. This is the grommet we're gonna go through right here. You just pop it out. We're gonna make a cut in here, fish the wire through, and we need to make a cut in the foam backing that's right there for the firewall. This will be hard to film, just gonna go ahead and slice that protective foam right there. Now, keep in mind, some vehicles do have modules behind here, so be careful what you're jamming through here. The G8X platforms normally do not, but other models may. Now that I have the hole cut, take something like a screwdriver, expand the hole a little bit, just to make your wire going through a little bit easier. Fish the wire through your grommet. Make sure it's routed where you want it at this point. And then we can go ahead and push the wire through. All right, we're through. You could take a fishing line too and feed that from the inside out. And we'll just pop our little rubber grommet back over. Make sure you do that so you don't get any rainwater inside the car. All right, now we're ready to go in the cabin. Now we're gonna work inside the cabin, connecting the sensor to the CAN bus system, which is right in the passenger footwell. Gonna have Reese do this portion of the install. He's done a few more of these than I have, and he's also a little bit smaller, can fit in here with the car on the lift a little bit better. So Reese, take it away.
All right, so underneath here, there is 2 tabs that you have to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Another one under here. And you'll get your thumb under here and pop this down. There is 1 plug under here for the footwell light. Unplug that. Here's the 2 clips that you rotate counterclockwise to unlock. All right, so the next piece we want to remove is this door sill trim piece right here. You want to get your hands here and pull up on it. There we go, pop it out there, and then back here, it slides forward. So you'll slide it a little bit forward towards the front of the car, and that'll break it free. Here's the tabs, or the rivets that stay in underneath, so you need to get a pry tool to pull these out, and then slide them back into the slots that they go in on the trim piece. Trim removal tool for these little rivets that stay behind. I usually press forward with my thumb here, slide it under, and then pry carefully up to pop them out. And then when you have them out, you want to take your trim piece and slide it back in where they came. All right, once we got the footwell trim out, we are going to do this trim next. I usually get my thumb under here, slightly pull. You'll hear the first rivet pop out, go along the back as well. There's 1, 2, number 3. They also do like to stay behind, as you can see right here. Get the trim tool, slide it underneath, pop those out. And they go back in the trim here. All right, so when you are under here, you'll see where you pushed your wire in through. Make sure you push your wire enough so that you can see it. Underneath of this carpet here is where we need to get into the front electronics module. You'll see up here that it says Con 6, or Con 8, Con 7, Con 6. Con 6 isn't on the G8X, so we're going for Con 7, which is this first one right here. So there's 2 tabs on either side. You squeeze those and swing down on this arm, and that'll release the connector. I like to take out this black holder as well for extra room, and then I also like to unplug this cable here so that I can then move this cover here, which is held in with 2 little clips here, and then it hooks into the back. I just move it a little bit just so I can get to that next connector. All right, so for this first connector, there's a little tab here, a little tab here. That holds in the actual inner connector. You're gonna spread apart here, and then with your other finger, pull them both out together, just like that. And now you're gonna grab your boot mode plug and play wire harness, and you're gonna slide this piece out. It's like on a little rail right here. slide this piece out. Make note of these two wires. These are the CAN low and CAN high wires. They're at the top of this connector. So we're going to slide this one out. We're going to get our boot mode one and slide it in. All right, so here's the boot mode harness. You're going to grab this end, the female side, and you're going to slide it in just like how you slid out the OEM one. And then you're going to grab the connector and slide that back over. And then you're going to take the OEM harness and the new harness, the boot mode harness, and you're going to match up the CAN high and CAN low, so they're yellow and black, yellow and white, to the yellow and green wires here. So you can flip it the wrong way. You'll know you flipped it the wrong way when your car's freaking out. Windshield wipers will go on, all kinds of things weird. You want to make sure that the two CAN wires are matched up and plug it in. So once you make sure that you have those two CAN wires matched up together, I like to get electrical tape and wrap this around here so that they never come apart. We're going to work on now getting this tap in there. We're going to pull this back and you're going to see these two connectors down here. There's one with a more teal looking arm and then one with a more green looking arm. You're going for the green arm that's farther back. That is CON 3. Same thing, two tabs on the side. Angle it down, pull it out. I like to pull it out back here so I have more room to work with it. So once we have that connector out, we're going to go for this blue inner connector. Same thing, tab on this side. The little green wire here is the one we're going to for power. The easiest way to just pull out just the blue one is I like to unwrap this little tape harness loom here they got going. A little bit more freedom now. I like to grab this brown wire, pry back here, and then pull out with your right hand, and that'll get this free. That's really all you need to pull it out. We now are going to get a pick tool. Right here you'll see this little tab. This is how you deep pin a connector. We're going to press in on this little tab with the pick tool, and we're going to pull this green wire out. Just like that. Sometimes they get caught in this second one here. All you have to do is, if it's getting hard to pull out, put the pick tool right here and press down this tab again, and then you'll be able to pull it out free. All right, you're going to slide this red wire into pin number 1 here, where you pulled out the green one. Make sure you hear that click. And we're going to push this back in. Now I'm going to get shrink wrap ready, or you can use electrical tape if that's all you have, but I like to get these little shrink wrap tubes. Slide this past where we're working. I'm going to plug the green wire that we pulled out of the connector into our red wire of our harness. I'm going to plug these in here now. The green side, the OEM one, to our red harness side. Slide this over. Let it cool down a little bit now so you don't burn yourself until it's cool to the touch. We're going to start with now plugging in this bottom CON 3 connector. Slide up on the arm, make sure you feel it pull in, and then we're done with that connector. I like to put these wires in between here and click that back in, just like that. Make sure you remember to plug this back in as well if you took it out to get better access. And now the last step is plugging in the last connector up here that we took out. Again, make sure it pulls it in. You feel that click, make sure it's in. Plug the holder back in. And then the best way to tuck these wires is kind of get it behind this red cable right here and as flat as you can so that you don't have a hard time putting the kick panel trim back on. All right, now grab the boot mode control box and you're going to plug in that cable that you fished through that's coming from the sensor. And now we're going to plug in the harness that we just wired up to the front module here into this port. Make sure these wires are safe here from the cover. We're going to put the cover on. Make sure you don't pinch the wire in between the cover. Once you're sure that they're free, click them in. And then the best spot for this box, for no rattles at all, is underneath of the module we just worked with. There's a little tiny cavity that's surrounded by wrapped wire, and it will never rattle if you stuff it right under here. Pull the carpet away. Safe and sound, and then we're going to tuck away our extra wires along the door sill trim underneath here, following these OEM wires. Make sure before you start putting these panels on that this wire is not tucked behind here, because if it gets stuck then you got to pull everything off again, so make sure that's free. And then we are going to line up. You can kind of see from the angle of where like the door would be where the holes are. I like to line those up and make sure I can feel that it's in the hole first, and then pull up on this rubber here so that that's not fighting you when you push in. Just like that. Make sure they're lined in, and then give it a nice pop in. And again, make sure that the rubber is on top. There you go, and that's that trim piece in, and now we're gonna put in the door sill trim. All right, so here's the door sill piece. You can see these two little tabs here. That actually has to go in first, just like how we took it out, reverse order. And then again, just like with that front piece, you kind of want to peek at your rivets here and make sure that they are all where they want to be. And once you're sure that they're lined up, pop it down. Right here at the front is the final little tab you want to push in. You'll hear that little click, and all your trim pieces are on. And now the final piece is this footwell light and trim. Slide it in here, plug it back in. And then there's two hooks right here and right here. So you want to make sure that you push it in and get it into those two hooks. And then push forward. You'll know you're in when basically it's already in position for you to twist in these little unlock things. Press it up. There you go. And then you grab your flathead. And we're going for those tabs again, tightening them back into place. And then you were done with the install. All right, now that we're done the interior, we're gonna finally put on these covers that you took off, this side and that side. We're leaving that side off right now because we're doing a brake bleed on the car. We're making a video on that.
And we would also be putting the engine cover back on, but we're going to be doing an oil change DIY as well. So if you want to see these following videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check out Mr. Squeeze. It's going to be, like I said, a really cool vlog coming out on this, as well as all of the DIYs for all of the upgrades that we're doing to get them to 750 wheel and ready for NJMP. We'll see you back in the next video.